everyone! So I wanted to share my travel makeup bag with you guys. This is pretty much my everyday makeup as well. I definitely put in quite a few of my tried, tested, and true favorite things. You will see a lot of pan on quite a few products. And I have my little airport security approved baggie with my liquid cream sort of products there as well. And I had wanted to do a travel makeup bag before after my last trip, and then I just never got around to it. And I wanted to share just some of my everyday makeup loves, and I had a few people request that and want me to do like makeup baskets and stuff, so I sort of thought I would test it and see how this went. So the bag that I've been using recently for travel, the last couple of times I've gone anywhere, has been this bag. Now this is a bag that was gifted to me from Pixi. It has 3 compartments, 2 are the same size, the clear plastic with the zippers, and then there's one smaller pouch on the top that's also zippered, and Pixi personalized it, so it's like Dear Elle. This had some skincare stuff in it. I'd actually done like a get unready with me back when I got this back in like 2018, I think it was. It was a while ago, but this has been my go-to thing. Plus it has a little hanger, so this hangs on the back of my door. This is the bag I take when I stay over at my boyfriend's place. I can just hang the makeup bag up anywhere, and it's been really convenient for travel, so I'm really glad I have this. If I didn't have this, I would definitely want something like this, because then I can zip it up and it's very small and easy to take around. So normally, like if I was going somewhere where I wasn't flying, I would just put everything inside this one bag and I wouldn't have the separate one. But obviously, if you've ever been through airport security, you know you need this. Normally this is closed, but this bag has seen much better days now that it has gone back and forth. So this is all makeup, and this is all stuff that I brought with me, and in this exact bag, you'll notice that there's not stuff like shampoo, conditioner, deodorant. I buy all that when I get there. I buy the little tiny sample size things at the drugstore for like a couple dollars a piece, and I use it while I'm there, and then I just leave whatever's left. It's usually little to nothing left in the shampoo and conditioner, if anything, and maybe a tiny bit of deodorant, but it's not generally worth it to me to take up space for the products that I want to have. Now when I travel and when I go anywhere, generally I want my staple base makeup. I don't want anything crazy. I don't want anything that I'm not too familiar with or too accustomed with, because this is really not the time for experiments for me. I just like to be very safe and have stuff that I can apply very easily and quickly, because generally the point of my travels are to experience the city. I did a lot of wandering. I went to museums and galleries, and I went to breweries, and I went to a lot of coffee shops, and it was just a lot of walking, and I wasn't very concerned with the stuff on my face, but I just like to have that base stuff on there. So I'll go through the stuff that's in the baggie first. There's only one skincare thing in here, and that's a tiny little jar of moisturizer. This is La La Retro Whipped Cream moisturizer from Drunk Elephant. I just had a little deluxe size sample and decided to bring that with me. There's still a little bit left in there, and I will finish this up. Very good lightweight moisturizer, just something. I also have makeup wipes in my bag here as well, but I definitely went very, very light with the skincare, just intending to go very light with the makeup and making sure I removed everything when I was done at the end of the day. I almost forgot once after a very long night that I did remember to take everything off. So I brought a full-size primer. This is the 30 milliliters, pretty standard. This is the VDL Lumilayer Primer Fresh. This was very kindly sent to me by a friend, and it is delightful. I love it so much. Such a beautiful, lightweight, sort of glossy kind of primer. It made my skin very glowy, and I very much like it. Everything that's on my face right now is all just stuff that I'm showing you here as well. So just thought I would mention that, but this is, I used that moisturizer before I did the rest of my makeup, and I used this as my base. Tried, tested, and true. Another thing that was very kindly gifted to me from a friend, the Urban Decay Eyeshadow Primer Potion, the original formula. Can't be without it. Honestly, it is the best thing, and I did so much wandering and my makeup stayed on. So it's just one of those things that just works so well for me. I also brought color corrector because of course I did. I can't be without my color corrector as well. Just, it seems like a lot of layers, but I generally do my entire face in about 20 minutes, so it's very quick, and I just find this works better for me than having to go in with extra concealer, because I use the pink. This is the Urban Decay Naked Skin color corrector. I use the pink underneath my eye and the green for any little spots of redness, and then I cover it with foundation or concealer, and then I don't need to add extra things on top of it. Generally, just a light layer of foundation does it perfectly for me, you know, to what I want. And it's I like this particular formula because it's very lightweight, but it still does the job of color correcting. The foundation I brought with me is the Fenty Beauty foundation. This is the Pro Filter Hydrating Longwear foundation. This is the shade 170, which is a touch too dark for me right now because this is definitely my summer shade. I picked this up at the end of September, beginning of October, when it was still like really warm and sunshiny and I was spending a lot of time outside. This is one of the things I had bought when I did my last trip when I went to Cleveland, and I really like this foundation. I didn't like it at first when I first started wearing it, but I was applying way too much of it because I wanted a fuller coverage foundation for a while when my skin was behaving quite badly, and it transfers insanely when you wear too much of it, but a very light layer works very well. So that's the foundation I've been wearing a lot. That tends to be the foundation I wear on camera as well, unless I'm doing some sort of cocktail thing, just because it's probably the closest color match that I have right now. I brought a Makeup Forever brow gel, so the tinted brow gel does the trick. I brought lash glue. This is the House of Lashes lash glue. I did not bring lashes. You'll notice I'm wearing lashes. I did buy lashes. I'll explain that in a second. Because I also forgot mascara and then bought mascara. I figured, you know what? I probably really honestly need to replace some of my mascara because it's been probably too long for me to be using the mascara. So I bought a $4 tube of CoverGirl Full Spectrum Lash Ambition mascara in Very Black. I found this at Winners. I shelled out the big bucks, the $4 mascara. I've used it now the handful of times and it's worked pretty well. And then the only lip product I brought was a lip gloss. This is from Pixi and it is the Lip Lift Max in Petal Ice. Honestly, I didn't wear this very much. I really have been skipping over lip products quite often. I'm wearing it right now with nothing else, no lip liner or anything. Maybe I would use it more with a lip liner, but I just have been very light with the lip products. I have a little travel toothbrush. I brought a little travel toothbrush and toothpaste set. I think my boyfriend put the little travel toothpaste in his carry-on. Kirkland Daily Facial Toilettes to make sure that I got all my makeup off. I did bring these little cotton rounds, which I didn't end up using because I didn't have any toner or lotion or anything. But just in case I really needed something, I thought that I would pack those just in case. And these are the lashes I picked up, the Elle Luxe Silk Effect Lashes. Delicately designed with a cat eye flick, it will inspire lash envy in everyone. These were $3 at Winners. I wanted a pair of lashes for to wear to the concert because I went to see the Lumineers, and this is actually basically the makeup that I wore to see the Lumineers. So I just thought these would be great and I would get a lot of use out of them. I have purchased eyeliner lashes before off of the Ulta website, and I get like 20 uses out of them because I don't tend to wear my lashes for a very long time. You know, I usually wear them when I'm filming, so it might be like 2-3 hours, and that's about it. So I get quite a few uses out of them. So those are my big purchases. I walked by Sephora, I walked by the NYX store, MAC, all the displays in the various stores like Saks and Nordstrom's, which was kind of difficult, but also I wasn't really drawn to it like I have been. So those were the sort of beauty related purchases I made, and I think it was justifiable. I brought my Dipbrow from Anastasia. This is a go-to. Lots of pan on here. This is ash brown. Sorry, just a little sniffly, and I didn't realize it until I started talking because I haven't been doing a whole lot of talking today. The concealer, this is from Glossier. It's a stretch concealer in light. I also have pan on this one. I brought this just in case. I only ended up using it I think once. One day I didn't use foundation, I just concealed a little bit, and that's what I used. I really like that concealer. It's very, very lightweight, but it's good when my skin is behaving fairly well or I don't mind any sort of the discoloration. And then also that was in this little top section is my Urban Decay Roadstripe eyeshadow. This, I have it on my inner corner right now, as well as my brow bone. This is my favorite sort of unique highlight shade, and I thought that this would work really well for just the very basic makeup looks that I like to do. Now, the last part of my travel bag has all the rest of the powder things and the brushes. I need to clean my brushes very, very badly now. You'll see all of the mishmash of product on them because I figure I will show them as well. So I'm just going to grab all the product out here and the brushes. This is just a small sampling of some of my favorite eyeshadow brushes. I have this brush from Wayne Goss. It's just a sort of buffing brush, and then the little Hakuhodo J5529. Again, these sort of shaped brushes are some of my absolute favorites, and this one, this Still Spa Essentials brush, which is like $3 at Walmart, and I have like 6 of them because I love them. These are like my favorite sort of blending brushes. I have a little 219 pencil brush from MAC. I have this this little Tarte eyeshadow brush, and a MAC, I think this is a 242, the flat sort of shader brush, and then a little double-ended Urban Decay one that came from the Vice LTD palette, I think. Just because I like to have some options depending on what I'm doing. You can see all of the color on those brushes right now. And I have a Sigma eyeliner. This is just a black eyeliner. One of my favorite go-to easy looks is just smudging on the black eyeliner. So I go pretty thick on my lash line and the lower lash line as well, and then I just would take the pencil brush and just smudge it and blend it all in. So I have like this really intense but somewhat faded black, like smoky ring around my eye, and then I build on top of it, and I find that it helps the shadow last and wear fairly well, and it's just sort of that messy, smudgy vibe that I like, that tends to wear fairly well towards the day. And if it's getting towards the end of the day and everything looks sort of messy, it looks almost more intentional because it's kind of started off sort of like that messy, sort of grungy sort of vibe, and it works really well for me when I got so much going on that I'm not, you know, thinking about touching up my face or anything. I just want to embrace that sort of look. So I also have my Brow Wiz from Anastasia. This is in the shade Taupe, so it was from when I had my hair quite lighter, and I will just draw a little bit more like the inner portion of my brow just to help use it up a little bit more. I'll keep going with the brushes just to get them out of the way. This is what I used for foundation. This is actually a mineral powder brush from Sephora, but I find that it blends fairly well. This is my favorite brush for bronzer. It's just a tapered brush from a Tarte set. That's my favorite thing to use. I have this Morphe M501, which is my favorite highlighter brush. Again, tapered, very tiny, works very well for highlight, especially because my features are relatively small. So the little tiny tapered things work the best. This is a very old face contour brush from a brand called Quo in Canada, and this is just the contour brush I've used forever. This brush is probably like 6 years old. I just love it so much. It's just like a really tiny little contour. It's so well worn at this point, I just can't give it up. This little Sephora Pro Airbrush Concealer. This is a really good concealer brush. I use it constantly, all the time. Just little spots, like when I just spot conceal, this works really, really well, just blending that in. It's just a really like mini foundation brush, so I quite enjoy that. I also have this powder brush from Still Spa Essentials. This is what I use for blush as well. I didn't like this at first. When I first started using it, I didn't like it very much because I thought it was too big, but I've somehow managed to kind of make it a little bit smaller. Like every time I kind of clean it, I sort of reshape it so that it's a little bit smaller and not as wide, but I will occasionally still just go back in. You've seen me do this before with my beauty blender or like my foundation brush to touch up any areas that I get blush on that I feel like might be too much, because sometimes it's too much blush. I dropped my Anastasia brow brush. I can't find it at the moment, but it's just the angled sort of brow brush for the dip brow with the spoolie on the other side. So it's very, very commonly seen a brush, and that's just my favorite thing for dip brow. Okay, so the last few things I have here are the powder products. So my contour powder, my everyday one, has been this little mini guy from Burberry. This is the Earthy Blush No. 7 Light Glow Contour Powder. There's not a whole lot left. This is my everyday contour, and the contour I have on my face right now, which is probably very muted. I tend to use a deeper, more medium, sometimes even a darker contour shade on camera because everything gets so washed out that it's really difficult to see contour. So I did use that for the sake of this video, but it's not what I would normally use for filming. It's just my everyday light sort of contour shade. The Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. This is the light bronzer. I recently hit pan on this guy. This has been my everyday bronzer, just the thing that sort of lives in this bag and the thing I use the most often. The highlighter is very well worn as well. This is one from Pixi. It's the Glowy Gossamer Duo Delicate Dew. I have pan on one of the shades right now. This is the darker of the two of these glowy Gossamer Duos. The other one is almost completely gone, and then I just started using this one because I like the formula so much. It can be a little bit streaky on me because it is a little bit too dark, so it just kind of has that like stripe effect, but I've been trying to use a lighter hand so that I can still get the beautiful light glowy formula without too much product. So a favorite of mine, the blush I brought with me is something that I pulled for my Shop Your Stash. When I've been pulling out my random things from my box of random makeup, I pulled this Chanel blush and I was like, you know what, I'm probably not gonna like this, and you know what, I ended up loving it, and this has been the only blush I've used for the last like 3 weeks or something since I pulled it, whenever it was that I did my last Shop Your Stash. And I'm gonna have to do that makeup basket roulette thing again soon, but I don't want to let this blush go. This has been my favorite blush. It's a very neutral, earthy blush, and it's the shade 370 Elegance, and it's just, it goes with everything. It's not too overpowering, but yet I can layer it so that I can get a more intense sort of flush if I want to, but it seems very natural, and I have been loving that. And then lastly, I brought some eyeshadow. So I brought 4 very singles. This is just a little Anastasia quad, and I brought my Natasha Denona Mini Gold palette. So this is one of my absolute favorite things, one of my favorite eyeshadow palettes. A lot of people have been asking me to do the if I could only keep 10 eyeshadow palettes tag, and this would definitely be one of them. I know it's a very tiny palette, but it's beautiful. It has all of the shades that I like using, and I can do a variety of different things in here. I did one day with more of the green, of course a gold, then this beautiful deeper shimmer here is really great layered on top of the black, very like dark, smudgy, smoky eye. So of course I had to bring this, plus it's fairly tiny, so easy to bring. I didn't want to bring the Modern Renaissance palette. I don't like traveling with large palettes. I don't like traveling with eyeshadow that's fussy, like the Anastasia formula is, which I know it's funny that I'm using an Anastasia quad. But I just put together 4 random single shadows because I was feeling sort of the Natasha Denona Love palette vibes, something sort of like pink purple. I wanted some shimmers, I wanted some mattes, I wanted some stuff that was going to be easy. So this shade down here is the shade Come and Get It from ColourPop. It is this beautiful sort of rose gold reflective shade. These are very easy, like one and done sort of shadows. I did use that and then with this matte pink in the crease, and this is Tuscan Sun from Makeup Geek, and I don't even know if this exists anymore with the Makeup Geek rebranding, but this is one of my favorite matte shadows. I think they work really well together. It's good on its own as well. That's also the good thing with the contour powder and the bronzer, is I definitely ran that through my crease a little bit too. From Emme Cosmetics, I have Cupcake Frosting, which is this cool tone purple, and I have a little bit of a hard time getting this one to swatch, but it's a really beautiful, cool, sort of purpley gray color that works very well with some of those shades, just to help blend things out. And then this beautiful guy is from Sydney Grace, and it's called Ladies Dancing, and this is what's mostly on my lid right now, but I did do the black base as well. So this is my makeshift little quad of travel shadows that hits all those notes for me. So then you can pair that with Roadstripe as well, and I can get just a little bit, like I'll add Roadstripe to this so you can sort of see the colors, the whole color story I was envisioning. And I did use all these shadows, every single one from the mini gold palette, as well as my little singles as well, just in various combinations of that, and just very easy, you know, smudge the shadows on and go. It wasn't anything super elaborate, just a little mascara, bada boom, bada bing. Sorry, too much Gilmore Girls on the brain. But anyway, things are falling around everywhere. I just had to like move my lights a little bit. So anyway, that is everything for my travel makeup bag. Pretty much my everyday makeup, just swap out occasional things for products that I'm rotating through for various projects. Generally, like the eyeshadow would change the most. Some of the staple products really do stay as staples, like the bronzer and the contour really do tend to be everyday things. That is a look inside of my travel makeup and the stuff that I brought with me. Let me know if you have any questions, comments, or concerns. I will do my best to get back to you as soon as I possibly can. I probably won't be going back at this point to address comments from my last couple of videos. I just don't think I'm quite in that headspace to do it now. I'm very, very grateful for everybody's kindness and support. I've received quite a few messages over the last week. It's a little overwhelming. I'm trying to respond to everyone, but it's kind of difficult for me to do that. I'm trying to get back to people, but it's a little overwhelming. So anyway, I just wanted to make sure that I keep expressing how thankful I am, because I really am so incredibly thankful, and I'm so incredibly thankful for your time and that you chose to hang out with me today and listen to me talk about makeup. It means so much. So anyway, I hope you have a wonderful day or night wherever you are, and I hope we get a chance to chat soon. Bye for now.